Good morning. I just finished yoga. It's the 1 week mark since the refeed started, since I got out of the hospital, all that. 1 week out. And I did my first weigh-in, and just in like whatever your body takes back after a prolonged fast, it was like something like 20 pounds difference. It's pretty crazy. But that's water weight, that's glycogen in the muscles, that's essentially everything in your body that was dehydrated and wrung out and out of nutrients refilling itself. Oh. So I'm kind of waiting to see how I am like a few weeks in before I really look at what that looks like for body fat percentage and musculature, because I'm seeing the lean mass increasing. I'm seeing the body fat shooting up a little bit. I'm seeing the muscle mass shooting up a little bit. But all of those things are moving in parallel. Like the ratios aren't really changing, but everything is increasing in mass. It's pretty incredible. I've got like some kind of eye irritation right now. Maybe that means something for somebody. Maybe you have an irritated eye. Mine happened while I was gardening. So hopefully that's what that is. I found these underneath of my yoga stuff. Can't focus up. Essentially, it was like right underneath of this rack thing. And there were 6 cards down there. Got the Ace of Cups, or not Ace of Cups, the Page of Cups. The 6 of Wands, another 6. The Chariot, the Hanged Man, and the Moon. And we saw during this entire process, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was it only 5? Maybe it was just 5 cards. Maybe that's a progression. 5, 6. Stability, change, success. We're stabilizing right now. And I took it really, really slow and focused on carbs for this refeed, because it was really, really difficult to get out of ketosis. And now that I'm out of ketosis, it's almost time. Like as soon as I'm sure that things are like safe and my body's adjusted, I'm going to be going back into ketosis, right? But I'm being urged to do it carefully, to do it slowly, and to make sure that my body isn't going through massive swings before that happens. So right now, what that means is taking success in a pause, in a rest, making sure that everything is getting normalized again. And I got Christmas in July coming up on the 5th. And then right after that, I'm starting my new job. Should be. Fingers crossed. So it is a lot of change right after a stabilization period. And I don't know if this is related or not. Maybe it is. I found this cute little it's like a plant nursery / farmer's market. And it's like really close to my house. And I went there with my sister to look for plants for the garden, because we're trying to get something in those big pots before all the family comes over for Christmas in July. So we bought a bunch of soil and we looked at a bunch of plants. And if you remember during the Niagara Falls trip, we talked about like random potting success stories and like theorems. And she told me about thrill, fill, and spill. You need something in the middle that's going to be a little bit taller and thrill the eye. And then you need something a tier down that's going to fill the space. And then you need something around the edges that's going to spill out over the over the planter. So we've been going to all these different like plant nurseries and stores like Home Depot and Lowe's, and being like, this would make a good thrill, this would make a good fill, this would make a good spill. And like just going through and using all that stuff we talked about in Niagara Falls all that time ago. And it's been pretty fun. But yeah, all this gardening and like weed killer and like a bunch of other stuff has my eye fucked up right now. I think that's what it is. It could be something else, but it's like a little bit swollen and a little bit red. I look like a little Johnny Depp on this side. It's fine. But that's mostly what I've been doing. Stabilizing. Oh, and I had Taco Bell for the first time, which was fucking amazing. But I think a week feels like enough for me to start getting back on plan. I ate M&M's for the first time in like 37 days, which is pretty awesome. I had some Taco Bell. I didn't hit Chipotle and I didn't go to Trivia this week. So like those two were still kind of on the list. But I'm thinking right after Christmas in July, once we finish eating there, I'm going to head right back into my plan. And doing yoga today for the first time in a while was exhausting. I noticed out in the garden, and then today I am still getting fatigued very easily, more than before, even though my muscle mass is technically a bigger ratio. I am still getting fatigued, and she kicked my ass today, man. It was like a hard exercise kind of day. The title of the session was Action, so it was a very active yoga day. And there was 2 points where I had to pause and just like stay in a less intense posture. Like I went down to tabletop or downward facing dog at 2 separate points because like I paused it and I was like, I need a minute. Like I can't hold it this long right now. So I took my minute and then I dove right back in, and I didn't actually skip anything. I just gave myself exactly enough rest to get back into the exercise. So this is also I think the first day that I'm waking up at like 5:30 again. It was exactly 5 o'clock when I started yoga today. And I have not managed another early wake up in like a week. Ever since I got out of the hospital, I haven't been able to sleep. Like barely at all. I've been sleeping in small little like 1-2 hour chunks. And I've just been taking it whatever time of day it's willing to come. I even resorted to melatonin once because I was like, this needs to stop. You know, I need to sleep. And I think that's got something to do with blood sugar or the amount of like rest my body's needing. It's been intense though. So I'm taking cues from my body, and I'm just really trying to be careful here. Because I can't continue my plans until my body's in a good space again. And I think this fast was a lot harder on it than I thought it was. My energy levels are sapped. And they will recover, but it's taken longer than I expected. And if there's anything that I know from the fact that 5 cards wound up underneath of my exercise equipment, it's that Spirit wanted that message to come out whenever I dove back into it, because the only way I was going to see those cards is when I was doing a push-up. You know, getting back down to the ground after a push-up. That's the only way my eye was going to be level with that. And I don't even remember like knocking my cards over or spilling them over there, but there they were. And it makes me think I should count the rest of my cards, because every other time the cards have gone missing, Spirit's given me a little hint, and I've counted them and then been like, I'm missing a card, and then I like search for the card and I usually find it and there's a message involved. But this is one of the only times that I've ever like not noticed. Most of the time I can feel it like in my hands when there's not the right number of cards in there. So it's very interesting to me. Granted, during this entire fast, I didn't use my cards a whole lot. Most of my channeling was done in nature. It was done in water. It was done in the yard. It was done looking at the sky. There was not a whole lot of Spirit wanting me to use my usual tools. It was very back to basics kind of energy. And I feel like we're coming out of that. We're getting back to the cards. We're getting back to our typical tools. We're getting back to our exercise routine. We're getting back to normal eating habits. We are normalizing, stabilizing. And maybe that is your message today. It's time to stabilize. Love you guys. Thanks for